of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrats. Only 177 are Republicans. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republicans. The party that you back controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you, because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race.
You know, people complain about young black male unemployment, so then that leads people in to incarcerate them. You end up with black men being warehoused because black people pose the greatest genetic threat.
All right. Y'all should be able to hear me now, right? Go ahead and pop a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Sorry about that, fam. How about now? Go ahead and let me know what's cracking. So everybody is still getting no sound? Oh, excellent. All right, there we go. Thank you, fam. Appreciate that. Yeah, I had some computer issues. I actually had to reinstall Windows and set everything all back up again yesterday. So, woo! You know how it is, though, right? But yeah, fam, make sure you visit the store, pick up your ADOS cup so you can join me for Morning Joe. What's up, Spook? Shout out to Spook. By the way, I want to give a special shout out That slapping ass beat y'all heard before we got started with the broadcast today was from your man Barshawn. Make sure to check him out. Barshawn, make sure to hit me up. I'm gonna pop a link up on the video in the description. I'm gonna pop a link up to your SoundCloud so people can go and check out your shit, because that beat was just killing them. We had our esteemed elder and ascended ancestor Francis Cress Welsing giving us a little bit of info right from the jump. Great beat, and I can't thank you enough, Barshawn, for letting me ride with that. So little housekeeping before we get started. Family, we are very, 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 very close to 1,000. Yeah, Barshawn. It was, matter of fact, I had another homie tell me that he hasn't been able to use his taskbar, his start menu, and all of that since the updates for Windows 10. I actually had to reinstall my whole shit, and yeah, it was no joke. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, thank you, brother Barshawn, man. That, like I said, that beat got slaps. And our brothers and sisters got so much talent out here, and we need to be bigging each other up and giving each other the opportunity to rise. So no, thank you for that opportunity. It was my honor to showcase your work. But family, we're really, really close to that 1,000 mark. All right, so let's make that push. If you haven't shared this on your social media, please do so. Right? If you messing with me on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Drop a tweet in. If you're on Facebook, share this on Facebook. Sharing doesn't cost you nothing, and it's helpful, right? We want to try to get as many people as we can to hear these messages, right? To learn about what ADOS is all about, to get involved, right? Because that's what it's all about here. So, yeah, I had to roll back myself. I wasn't able to do it successfully, which is why I ended up doing a reinstall. So, but anyway, family, the broadcast today, it's about the lies we tell, family. The lies we tell. See, I don't know if y'all really get hot and heavy on social media, right? But I'm certain that you've noticed, shout out to you, Zulu, welcome to the broadcast. I'm certain that you noticed, by the way, shout out to Show Enough too. Let me go through and shout out everybody first before we get into it. MC Hammer Daddy in this mug, Darker Visions Media, Crumble Me's in the house, Miss Denny. She's not gonna be typing that much today. Arms messing with her, but she's here and she loves you. Brother Allen, Afro Troop in the house, Show Enough, Zulu, Spook. All right, there we go. So I don't know if you've been really messing around heavy on social media lately, but there's a lot of people that's been trying to come at our necks as ADOS, right? Shout out to Todd. Welcome to the broadcast. What up, though? Right? And we've been handling these fools like nobody's business. Like, make no mistake about it, right? LJ in the house. Welcome to the broadcast. The reason why we've been handling them is because they can't argue with the data. We've been working for the last 2 years to get on point with understanding the reality of our circumstances so that our advocacy can have the force needed when we go out here and do what we gotta do. But there's a lot of folk that are still new to this thing, right? That have grabbed onto ADOS. They know it makes sense. It's something that they feel. It's something that they understand is a part of who they are. But they lack the grounding in the data. They lack the grounding in the info. And so what ends up happening is that they fall kind of into these trick bags, right? I did a broadcast on Morning Joe recently where I talked about different logical fallacies that people are using in argumentation against us, right? So forewarned is forearmed. When you know how people are likely to argue at you, you can learn what tactics and strategies is required in order to be able to combat them. Not just with the data, but with proper logic and rhetoric, right? But one thing that strikes me is that even in spite of all of the data, right, all of the information that shows that by any objective metric, ADOS people at this point have no option but to push for us getting our due. No matter how much data is out there, even some of us who should know better are still expounding or being proponents of ideas that are just flat out lies, right? There's no nice way to say this shit. It's just flat out lies. And so we're going to have a little bit of church today, family. You know what I'm saying? Brother Minister Black is going to have to preach a funeral because we do our families and ourselves a disservice with these lies. And they are lies. I don't necessarily mean you're intending to be malicious. When I have committed these or told these lies, it wasn't in maliciousness. It's because of the fact that these lies have been ingrained in our heads. We've been told this bullshit for so long that sometimes our responses to this stuff is automatic, right? Shout out to Brother Thomas B. Yeah, there's too many fence sitters, but we're going to deal with it today. Cash flow in the house. Welcome to the broadcast. Why do you think they still hold on to lies? Zulu, that's a good question. When I say they, I mean me too, right? Because the reason why I'm talking about these things is because of the fact that I too have a propensity at times to re-embrace these falsehoods that I know aren't true. So I want to discuss 3 areas where we tell lies, not just to ourselves, but to everyone else. And these lies consistently work to our individual and our collective detriment. The first lies, or the first group of lies that we tell as ADOS people, is we lie about our actual status. Now, this one's actually fairly easy to deal with. The reason why we lie about where our status truly lies is simply because we have been told that we were temporarily dispossessed. Brother Cease in the house, welcome to the broadcast and peace to you, esteemed brother. Thank you, Ms. Denny. I appreciate the tip, and I appreciate your support. Thomas said we're afraid to be challenged to our own thoughts. That's a part of it. But I think the real root of that issue, the reason why we lie about our actual status is because aspiration doesn't allow us. Shout out to my sister Shar. Thank you, sister, for your love. By the way, sister Shar, be expecting some support coming from me to you. I appreciate what you do, and it's definitely on the way. I just haven't done it, but you got something coming from me, and I love you, and I thank you for what you do. But what's the root cause of this lying, these lies that we tell, comes down to the fact that we believe that we have a different situation than we actually do. The problem comes in that we believe that that we're not really where we are. That where we are only represents where we are right now. We lack a real sense of temporality, right? Brother C said, we want to see more than what we are. And that's a truth. That's a real truth, right? Part of the diminishing of us from generation to generation to generation is that we have to actively do work in order to sustain our individual and collective esteem in ourselves, right? If we believe the hype That we're a bunch of lazy, trifling, no good, shiftless ass niggas who ain't worth the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the motherfucking space we take up, suicide would be much more rampant than it actually is. Black Dollars in the house. Peace. Welcome to the broadcast. So, part of us kind of bigging ourselves up is just an attempt to really truly address our status as individuals of worth, individuals of note. The problem comes in, however, when we don't understand that our status isn't our status. It's not the status that we would have chosen. It's the status that's laid upon us, right? Part of the reason why we're fighting as ADOS people to be able to get our due is because the data suggests that we were robbed from word say go. Family, understand me when I tell you, you're broke. I'm broke. And this is not due to the fact that you are a piece of shit, that you are lazy, no good, shiftless, dumb. It is by design. In order for the dominant populace in America to prosper the way it has, there had to have been a classification laid in place to put them as the superior party and to make us the ones that eat the failure. I cannot stress enough the truth of that statement. You're struggling. You're having to be a part of the gig economy instead of actually having real jobs or entrepreneurial opportunities. Shout out to my beloved sister, Miss Kwame. Welcome to the broadcast. None of that has anything to do with you or I. This is systematic. It is institutionalized. And if America has its say so, it will be permanent. No amount of you or I telling falsehoods to ourselves about our status is going to change anything. As a matter of fact, family, it only hinders. Let me explain. Shout out to my brother ADOS Soldier. Welcome to the broadcast, brother. Glad to have you. There are so many of us, especially from Gen X forward, who were told a narrative, a story. Let me remind you of what that story is. Young blood, little sis, you need to go on ahead and take your butt to school. Get your education. Go ahead and get you a good job. And you stay loyal to those folk. And then in 20, 30 years, you could retire. Simplest narrative in the world, family. It's not hard. Malika in the house, welcome to the broadcast. The simplest, easiest narrative. Road Dog 36, welcome to the broadcast. And yes, you goddamn right. We got to stop the lies. And I know why our family told us this narrative. Vernell, welcome to the broadcast. Gorgeous, welcome to the broadcast. Dollars, for real, they flagged your channel. You know what? Fuck them. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. Let them try. You keep pushing. Our families told us this narrative because this narrative is a narrative of aspiration. It is a narrative of hope. It is a narrative that plays into all of our acculturation around the fact that if we just be the best people we know how to be, good things will come to us. If you are a religious person, you go to church and you tell your pastor, Pastor, my light's about to get cut off. I'm 2 months behind on the light bill. We ain't hardly got no food in the refrigerator. I ain't paid my car note in 4 months. I think they coming to repossess my shit. Your pastor tells you that it's always darkest before the dawn. That, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you should fear no evil, because God is with you. If God be for you, who can stand against you? And you feel hopeful. You feel a little less stressed. But that does not change the reality of your circumstances. This is not a disrespect to your ministers, your imams, your pastors, your leaders, none of that. But what this is to say is that, simply put, sometimes it is better for you to simply accept the truth of where and what you are right now, so that you can clearly see a path forward. I watched a video once of a beautiful sister, a beautiful young sister, who mentioned that when she was struggling and didn't have no food in the refrigerator, that she would go into the grocery store, Safeway, Piggly Wiggly, wherever, and she would walk through the aisles as she would claim groceries in the name of Jesus. Zay, welcome to the broadcast. I'm not fucking kidding you. She would literally walk through the aisles without a dime in her pocket and lay hands on groceries, on food, and claim it in the name of Jesus. I'm not going to argue with anybody about your faith. That's not my job. It's not what I'm here to do. What I am going to say to you, however, is that hope and 50 cents won't buy you a cup of coffee. But data, information combined with experience can get you a lot. But as long as we're actually telling lies about where and what we actually are at this moment, right here, at this point in time, we don't give ourselves the space to be able to do the needful. This is precisely why Yvette and Tone tell us to ground ourselves in the data. Because when you ground yourselves in the reality, the truth of your circumstances, ADOS stops being a hobby. It stops being a fucking movement, and it becomes your very life. Shout out to Leroy. Welcome to the broadcast. Do you understand me? When you ground yourself in the data, nobody has to tell you to go out here and do the work. You are driven to do the work. Why? Because you're responsible for what you know. And as soon as you know the truth of your circumstances, you cannot help but to get involved in this fight. John Mitchell said, woo, the lie starts at home when you're told you can be anything you want to be in America. Well, I see we gonna have some church up in this motherfucker today. And don't get me wrong, our folks were not wrong to try to instill in us some means to act, to be mobile, right? Rather than just find ourselves in a place of despondency, depression, outrage, anger, suicide. They had to tell us something. They had to tell us something. So it is not their fault. However, as adult human beings, as full-grown descendants of our ancestors, at some point it becomes incumbent upon us to understand the reality of our situation. Afro Troop said it's just like the Marine Corps. This thing requires commitment. And how you gain that commitment is not by lying to yourself about your aspirations, where you think you are, but where you actually are. As a former soldier, right? I'm a veteran. As a soldier, if I'm ordered to maneuver from point A to point B, but I don't break out the compass in the map, and I don't pinpoint exactly using the grid coordinates on that map where I am, then I can't know where the hell I need to go. So I take out my lensatic compass, right? And I place it on the map. I shoot an azimuth, and I get my sense of direction. But before I'm able to do any of that, I have to pinpoint exactly where I am, down to the final coordinate. David, my MOS was 31 Delta. I think it's, at this point, my MOS is defunct. It was rolled into, I think, 31 uniform. I was a commo person, right? A grunt with a big ass telephone. In order for me to maneuver across any terrain, the very first thing, regardless of anything else, is I have to know exactly where I am. To the extent that we allow our normal, innate need for esteem for ourselves to overwhelm our good sense and our understanding of the reality of the situation in which we find ourselves, we can't maneuver. We waver. We lose the commitment needed to make this push. And family, I'm just here to motherfucking tell you, we lie about everything. Our clothing is a lie. Our accoutrements is a lie. The car we drive is a lie. The places in which we live is a lie. The furnishings that we have inside of it is a lie. What we buy our children are lies. What we give to our mates are lies. You know for a fact that you didn't have $10,000 to pay for a 1-carat marquee cut diamond ring for your fiance. You know you didn't have $45,000 for a small wedding. You know you didn't have the $7,000 for the trip to Fiji for the honeymoon. But you did it anyway. And all you actually did was start what is supposed to be the most beautiful journey two human beings can ever take in life. You started it off in the fucking hole, trying to impress somebody, trying to show that we're going to be so much better together. The truth is, family, is you may not. The truth is that she may be able to get a good job and you may not. The truth is that all of that money that you spent, that you're going to have to spend the next 7 to 8 years paying back, you could have used to actually start building a little bit of a life for yourself. Credit undergirds our life as ADOS. Even with a shit credit score, I still get credit card offers every day. Oh, they don't want to give you reparations, but they have no problems with trying to make sure they give your ass credit cards and payday loans. And because you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm good for it, At some point, I'm going to be able to get a come up. I'm going to bubble. As soon as I get this record deal, as soon as I get this promotion, as soon as I get my masters, all of this struggle, all of this bullshit is going to go away. And I can finally exhale and live the life of a normal American. All of that is a lie. Because it is now time for your brother to talk about the second set of lies we tell ourselves. And I can promise you that I'm about to piss a whole lot of you off. But as the angry black sheep, I'm already an outcast anyway, so I don't give a fuck if your feelings get hurt. Because the data, reality doesn't give a damn about your feelings. The next place that we lie, that we tell ourselves falsehoods, that we feel ourselves, our people around us, and everybody we can is straight bullshit, is we lie about our true capabilities. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I fucking said it. We lie about the truth of what our capabilities are. Because let's face facts, family. Brother Antonio showed us the data that shows to make it into the top 5% of wealth, of a wealth position amongst ADOS people, all you need is $350,000 hard. That's it. I'm here to tell you $350,000 ain't shit. To make it into the top 5% of net wealth position as an ADOS person only requires $350,000 hard. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. We sitting here listening to the Democrats talking about the 1%. Look, the top 20, 30% of whites in the dominant society in this country blow our top 5% out of the fucking water. Thank you, David, the tallest midget. We lie about our capabilities. This actually kind of ties in to the first group of lies that we tell ourselves, right? Because we do. Shout out to Twyla, Black Fist, CRU, and Star. Welcome to the broadcast. But let's keep it a full fucking buck. We lie about our status to keep ourselves up. K. Archie in the house, by the way. Welcome to the broadcast. If you hear, family, hit that thumbs up or the hater button and shout out in the chat so I can give you some love. But part of the reason why we lie about our status is because we're not telling the truth about our real capabilities. Shout out to my beloved sister and ally, Jazz and Justice. Welcome. Welcome to the broadcast, beloved. I want to share something with you that I think you need to know. We are at this particular point beyond the point of true mobility in the United States of America. JB in the house. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me repeat that for you. The time for mobility in the United States of America is over. There are no more frontiers to open. There are no more new fields to break. There are no more new tracts of land to utilize and take advantage of the resources of. America is not growing. What America is doing, is calcifying its gains. It's locking in the gains that it's been able to generate for the last 400 or so years. That's what is happening right now at this particular point. And Black Dollars, you're right. Our capabilities are endless. But let's tell a real hardcore truth. Our black capabilities can only be operated within the confines of the reality of our situation. And in point of fact, because we lack some key things that allows us to express our capabilities, it may as well be the same as if we don't have any capabilities. So I'm not saying that we are incapable. I'm saying that we have been denied the key. Think about this. Where we sit as ADOS people is the equivalent of having a brand new GT sports car with no engine. We look pretty as a motherfucker out there shining, just doing the damn thing. Officer Faulkner in the house. Woo! We look pretty. Everything we do, we bring shine to it. But we got no oomph, no sustain, no ability to push. We have had that taken from us. And that is the facts. David Johnson said spending power means nothing without stacking power. Facts. Black people, my beloved ADOS people, are a motherfucking Monte Carlo SS with no battery in it. We have a ton of capabilities, but without the fuel, the electrical power, the engine to actually make those capabilities turn out to be something in our favor. We continue to tell bullshit lies. Like, who was it that said this earlier in the chat? Thomas B. Shout out to you. Thomas B. said everybody, every ADOS family got one uncle who's allegedly doing real well. Hey, Uncle Chubby, how you doing, brother? Oh, man, you know me. I'm living the dream, brother. Telling you, man, I got this going on and I'm flipping on that. Man, I'm about to make this deal here next week. I'm telling you, your man is killing the game. Uncle Chubby got this. I'm about to break the motherfucking bank. These motherfuckers is gonna be so sick when they see me, they gonna commit suicide, nephew. You know I'm telling the truth. We all got that one motherfucker in our family that you can't tell this motherfucker that he's not moving. Now, when you look at the data of your Uncle Chubby's life, what you realize is that Uncle Chubby is a one-man show in his business, so he's got no employees, right? Even if he is doing well, which can be debated depending on what field of business he's in, he's barely doing well enough to be able to sustain his own family. He's not creating opportunities for anyone else but himself. And that is by fucking design. Uncle Chubby started his shit off undercapitalized from word say go. He started off his business, his entrepreneurial enterprise, undercapitalized from moment one. Uncle Chubby's not going to tell you about the 2 years that your Aunt Sheila supported his ass because he wasn't making enough to even contribute on the bills. But Aunt Sheila worked for the post office, so she was able to cover that. Tell the truth and shame the motherfucking devils. We are full of infinite possibilities. But without the rocket fuel, without the engine, without the electrical power to actually be able to do work, all of our capabilities mean nothing to us. And that's a hard motherfucking truth to swallow. So hard, in fact, that many of us won't do it. Whenever we have that conversation, family, what do I tell you? It's not easy for me to admit that I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed since February of last year. My wife supports me. My son, who works, helps support me. That's the truth of my reality. I don't have to like that. You don't have to like that. You can look down on me and say, what kind of nigga is you that you can't even support your own household? Well, you know what? I'm not the only motherfucking one. And if we were actually telling the truth about our real fucking capabilities and our real status, all of this bullshit stigmatization and blaming the victim would go out of the fucking window. Because as much as you would like to think that you the man of your shit and you rock solid, bro, you ain't as rock solid as you telling everybody you are you? Oh yeah, man, I'm the king of my castle. Yeah, that's right. That's because your woman worked for the IRS. She been there for 13 years. So she's a GS-13 now. You know what I'm saying? Making almost $80,000 a year. So it's okay for you to go ahead and make 20. Let's just tell the truth like a TI is. And Kevin hit it right on the barrelhead. Our lying about our status and our capabilities is partly because of this hyper-individualist, this individualist bullshit that we about into. You got motherfuckers like Boyce Watkins and all of these other black capitalists who tell you, why the fuck are you on the plantation? You got all these skills and abilities. You the best of the best of the best. So you need to go ahead and quit that goddamn job and start you a business. You know, because once you come up, that means all the rest of us are good too. No, what Boyce Watkins and the rest of them ain't telling you is that even if you were to come up, what's going to end up happening is because we've had all of our capital stripped away from us, that every member of your family that is able to do so will use you as a reparations replacement. Your white counterpart who starts a business, first of all, usually has intra-life transfers, okay? Right? Let's just talk nigga, okay? Miss Kwame works for the, see? Right? And Miss Kwame, what would your household be without your opportunity to work for the FDA? How many private sector job opportunities did you go and interview for before you were finally able to get on with the government, actually have a job that provides you medical care, health care, you know, like dental assistance, vision, benefits, time off, and all that other stuff that every other American takes for fucking granted? We have to stop bullshitting with each other. We have to. We have to. And it's not because we're fucked up. It's not because we're in a bad place. It's because this was done to us on purpose. When you understand that this was done on purpose to you and to your ancestors and to your ancestors' ancestors, right? To your peoples, to your people's peoples, to your people's people's peoples. Then you know what needs to be done. Starman says a business takes, look, the average business takes about 5 years to break into the black. Let's talk numbers, ADOS family. How many of you motherfuckers right now have enough money saved up in the bank to be able to survive with 5 years with no income coming in? I'll wait. No, scratch that. How many of you actually have 1 year of savings saved up, so that if you lose your job, you get sick, you get into a car accident or something like that, you got 1 year of income saved up to be able to take care of yourself. This is not to shame you. This is to get you to see the reality of your circumstance. Let me ask you this. You don't have to answer in the chat, but answer this question for yourself. How many of y'all got 3 months of income saved up? Now, before y'all answer that question, understand we have the data. The average ADOS citizen in this country is literally 1 paycheck away from absolute homelessness. 1 paycheck. 1. So tell me again about your capability to become an entrepreneur when you don't even have enough capital to survive for 5 years should your business go bust. Family, your brother's not here to shame you. Your brother is here to motivate you. When I was in the military, my drill sergeant worked my fat ass, boy. And I hated that motherfucker. Until one day, he explained to me. He said, I am here to motivate you. I will motivate you. Your brother Mark Black is here to motivate you, not to bring you to a sense of despondency. Shout out to the elder BGS. Welcome to the broadcast, brother. And you're right. Most of us are 1 paycheck away. That's the facts. That's the data. We could tell ourselves all the motherfucking stories we want. We could talk about how great we are as a people, and we are great. We have a lot of potential. But without the means to be able to put that potential to work, all the potential in the world is not going to save us. I know it, family. I know it. I want y'all to start committing to telling each other the truth of your reality. Remember, we ADOS. We a family. When you come tell me the truth of your situation, just like family, I'm supposed to have your back. Not to shit on you or shame you. And besides, how many of us out here thinking that we going through what we going through by our goddamn selves, when in point of fact, our whole entire ethnic group is going through what we going through if you look at the data? How is it shameful on an individual level when pretty much everybody in your damn group is going through the same shit? Let's tell the facts. It's not. It's absolutely not. The reason why we have to make this push to... Y'all watched Morning Joe the other day. We want our motherfucking car back. Everybody... Thank you, Elder. I appreciate the tip, brother. Thank you so much for that. You know what, Jazz? I'm not surprised there's only 53 likes because, see, today I'm actually telling some real hard truths. We tell too many fucking lies. Shout out to Dr. Lely. Welcome to the broadcast, and my little nephew Dave in the house. We tell too many lies about our circumstances. Oh, and trust me, family. Trust me when I tell you. For example, K. Archie says, why are we not looking into blockchain technology? There are people who are. My sister Jazz is studying and getting into blockchain. Now, if you think, K. Archie, that studying blockchain technology is going to close the racial wealth gap, you're sadly mistaken. All the education in the world is not going to close that racial wealth gap. It's not going to change the fact that 2053 approaches. We live in the nation with the best car ever built. And it was built on the back of our ancestors. And everybody's had a chance to drive this motherfucker. Everybody. White folks that had a chance to drive it. Latinos that had a chance to drive it. Dot Indians that had a chance to drive it. Feather Indians that had a chance to drive it. Nigerians that had a chance to drive it. Jamaicans that had a chance to drive it. Guatemalans have had a chance to drive it. Slovenians that had a chance to drive it. Everybody that had a chance to drive the car that your ancestors built, except you. And strangely enough, you have members of our lineage who don't see anything wrong with that. Excuse me? Our ancestors' labor stolen to build the best engine, the best vehicle for growing a nation anywhere, bar none. And everybody gets to operate the vehicle, except for us. Facts, David. Motherfucking illegal immigrants are ghost riding our whip. Or y'all didn't hear about the fact that the motherfucking Democrats just passed laws or rules or legislation. I forget exactly what it was. I don't know if it was a resolution or a part of a bill. I think it was a part of a bill in the goddamn House trying to give voting rights to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, you got brothers, cousins, sisters, uncles, nieces that, due to the fact that they're felons, have had their franchise taken away from them, and ain't nobody passing a bill to do shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Brother BGS said it. We just want to be brought up to standard. We are the mechanic. We are the mechanic. Understand that. We are Atlas. All these white motherfuckers want to talk about the work that they've done to build this country. My ancestors came over here as immigrants and they didn't have anything and they worked hard and they built up America. And now you're asking me to give you money. Bullshit. There is only one Atlas in America. And that is the American descendants of slavery. We have long been the one who carries this great nation on its back. Well, to coin a phrase given to us by Ayn Rand, it's time for Atlas to shrug. I love whales. I like a good clean climate. I like world peace. I like all that shit. But until we get our turn to get our motherfucking car back and drive it, I will be more than glad to watch this whole motherfucker burn. And there are too many of you, who, because you won't face the reality of our circumstance, think what I said was radical. Mark Black is on some advocating violence shit. What's he gonna say next? We should go kill white folks? All I'm telling you is that 2053 approaches. If nothing changes, right? It don't get worse and it don't get better, by 2053, you and I will have a median net worth of 0. In a country where you have the best health care that money can buy, you have the best education that money can buy, you have the best government that money can buy, that you have the best food that money can buy, you will have literally nothing. Nothing. I'm glad you're here, Jess. And by the way, shout out to Leo. Welcome to the broadcast. Shout out, Brother Christopher. I see you. I see you. Understand me when I tell you that when you look at the data, in the immortal words of Princess Leia, David, Black Dollars, Show Nuff, Dr. Lily, Jazz, K. Archie, Jess, Brother BGS, Star, you are my only hope. If we don't make this push, we are done. I don't give a fuck how that makes you feel. At this particular point, I cannot be concerned at all with your feelings. Ideal asked how I feel about Andrew Yang. How I feel about Andrew Yang is immaterial. I have a return question for you. Has Andrew Yang mentioned a specific program for the redress of the long-standing debt and grievance owed to America, owed from America to the American descendants of slavery? That will give you the answer about how I feel about anybody. And yes, Zulu, I saw Cornell's recent statement caping for Bernie Sanders. That highfalutin, academic ass, petty bourgeois, butter biscuit brigade, they're going to do what they do. And yes, Proud, welcome to the broadcast, by the way. Proud Wifey said, have you reached out to Trump or black conservatives about reparations? I sure in the fuck have. Trust me when I tell you, you're not watching just some old regular ass dumb nigga that's just spouting out a bunch of shit. I sure in the hell have. Hell, I wrote the president himself. I'm not married to any particular fucking political party. I don't teach any of our people to be married to any particular party. We are married to one thing, our lineage and our justice claim. That's it. That's it. It's funny. Everybody tells us that you shouldn't be a single issue voter. Bullshit. The LGBTQIA community is a single issue voter. They want more rights for them, more piece of the pie for them, right? Immigrants are single issue voters. They want more immigration, more opportunities to bring their families in, more of the pie for themselves. And everybody has had an opportunity to get in front of the government and demand what it is that they want and expect to get it. We're the only ones who are told that we're being divisive, that we're being selfish to demand redress, repair, remediation, yes, reparations. Dun, dun, dun. And no, Proud, I have not received a response from them. I won't stop trying, but I haven't received a response from them. Family, the lies that we have been spending all these generations telling ourselves about our capabilities, when all of the data suggests otherwise, has done nothing but allowed America to practice at best benign neglect and at worst open hostility and combat economically, socially, and politically with ADOS. And it is time for it to stop. It is time for these lies about where we are and what our actual capabilities to operate, to move, what those are. Like Black Dollar said, numbers don't lie. Let me share some more numbers with you. Pew Research Trust did a study, a poll, where they asked ADOS people, what do they think about the availability of opportunities for social mobility and advancement in America today? 56% of the respondents replied that they feel optimistic about their capability to be able to maneuver the space known as the United States of America. Very interesting data, right? But data means nothing without context. So Pew actually looked at the actual levels of mobility from social class to social class amongst ADOS people and found that social mobility, social economic mobility was at the lowest it had been since the Jim Crow era. So here you are telling yourself a bunch of fucking aspirational bullshit about, oh man, look, just give me a space to maneuver and nigga, I'ma have them shook. When the reality of it is that's not likely to happen without some extraordinary intervention. Christopher, Cornel West is on that. You know what? So basically, let me give y'all the TLDR version of what Cornel West said. He said basically that even though Bernie has not came out in support of a repair package, a reparations plan for black people, that because all of the other stuff that he's advocating for would have such beneficial effects for black people that we need to give our support to him. You know, the same old bullshit. You know, that whole rising tide lifts all boats crap. We've debunked that 1,000 times. If every ethnic group in America is standing on my chest and you put milk crates under me, we all a little bit higher up off the ground, but they all still standing on my fucking chest. Shout out to my brother Unreasonable Man. Welcome to the broadcast. So he didn't say anything that the rest of the Butter Biscuit Brigade hasn't said already. He just dresses it up in high-flung spiritual talk. You know, calling everybody brother and sister. I call my people brothers and sisters. Damn everybody else. Exactly, Dr. Lely. It's that whole we gonna be all right mantra with no fucking context. Are we gonna be all right? That depends on how much work you're willing to do. And I'm not talking about going and getting an education and following the old bullshit that everybody told us. No, right now, your work is to push this government to give you and I, our grandparents' car back. That is it. Your job is not to make these people like you. Your job is to not try to get their approval. Your job is to not have white folks say nice things about you. You know, that soothing balm of white-skinned acceptance. It's not your job. Your job is to advocate for the return of the stolen resources to the American descendants of slavery. And every single person in government, every single person in business, every single person in your life, if they are not on board with that agenda, fuck them. David asks, if every American gets $500,000, does ADOS situation change in this country? Not really. Nope. Not at all. We need parity. I don't think you understand what that means. We need to be brought up to where everybody else is. That's it. That's it. Fuck your green deals, your green new deals. Fuck your UBIs. It's a great idea, but fuck that. Fuck all of that. Bring us up to where we're supposed to be. Then we can talk about all the rest of that other shit. The elder BGS said they spend trillions on other people. They spent trillions to lock up black men. Facts. The drug war that they spent the last 30 years prosecuting against ADOS people would have definitely taken care of our reparational needs. So to show you how easily America could have taken care of this, the trillions of dollars spent on prosecuting the drug war would have taken care of our repair. It would have taken care of our repair. We would have been good. The amount of money that America has spent on the military, 3 years of the average military budget would have been more than enough to bring us to parity. Christopher Clipper talked about the bank bailout, $29 trillion. That would have been parity plus for the American descendants of slavery. Brother Cerulean talks often about the welfare we give other nations, you know, the welfare that comes out of your and my pocket. But then these foreign nationals come here and claim that we're fucking wrong for addressing our government for a specific redress of a grievance that we have with our government. Right? Miss Kwame, speak. Preach. Homeland Security and the war on terror. They could have long took care of this shit. Because, family, that brings me to the last thing that I want to mention today. The last thing that I want to mention that we fucking lie about, and we lie like proverbial rugs. We've been lying a lot about who our real allies are. Y'all are getting it in the chat. Let me read some of these. Leo said they could have built 1/4 of those prisons on police departments or funded reparations building grants that would have counteracted up and coming drug dealers and instead have black businesses. Facts. Onyx, welcome to the broadcast and peace to you. Absolutely, David. I believe that when we get our checks, the first thing we all need to do is hit the gun stores And I recommend you get you a white person to go do it for you. You know, a cat's paw. Another reason why y'all motherfuckers shouldn't be all the time running off white folks. Y'all haven't studied your 48 laws of power. Use a cat's paw. I don't want to digress. That's another broadcast. Your taxes pays for welfare for a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Everybody want to shit on the sister in the hood who's getting food stamps, WIC, Section 8, and all that shit. Man, the welfare she gets is a drop in the fucking bucket compared to the welfare Amazon gets, the welfare Apple gets, the welfare that the DOD gets. Dr. Lely said restorative justice is the check plus the structural corrections of our systemic oppressions. I wish I had a mic I could drop for you, Dr. Lely, but I'm broken. I need the one I got. Foreign aid is welfare. Corporate tax breaks, welfare. Family, we've been lying to ourselves about who our allies really are. Who is it that's got our back? We've been telling some falsehoods around this shit. And the angry black sheep is just that nigga to expose your bullshit. You've been running around here, and I've been running around here talking about that brown people are our allies. You know, Native Americans or First Nations folk, Dot Indians, Latinos, Asians. I won't lie, I did chuckle a bit at you dumb niggas freezing your asses off up in South Dakota standing with Standing Rock. I got a good chuckle out of that. All you motherfuckers marching and running for Susan G. Komen and all this and that and the third. I ain't gonna lie, I get a big kick out of that shit. We get told that we all black folk. Why you hating on Nigerians, brother? We all black to the white man. We get told by the Jamaicans, by the Antiguans, we all black folk. This country treats us all the same. When the floods in Accra happened back in 2016, how many of us changed our flags in support on our social media pieces, right, in support of Ghana? There was quite a few of you. I did it my damn self. Sure did. Had the Ghanaian flag on my profile on Facebook and other social media outlets. I spoke out in support of aid to the people of Accra in Ghana. We've been told that's our motherland. It don't matter if they Kenyan, Kikuyu. Doesn't matter if they Twi. Doesn't matter if they Khoisan. Doesn't matter if they Bantu, Yoruba, Fawn, right? Don't matter. It don't matter if they Igbo, right? It don't matter. It don't matter if they're from Senegal or Cote d'Ivoire or Mauritania or Chad. It don't matter if they from Egypt. It don't matter if they from South Africa. Shout out to my sister Remy Mupacalypso. Welcome to the broadcast. Right? CRU, we've often looked at everybody and said, damn, man, what's happening over there is some bullshit. We gotta help Our brothers and sisters over in Somalia. How many of you contributed when the Ethiopian food crisis back during the Mengistu regime back in the 80s? How many of you contributed? When I was in school, we actually did fundraisers to send money to feed those starving Ethiopian people that we were seeing come across our screen on a daily basis on TV. Kids that looked like you and me with kwashiorkor, you know, their bellies distended because they were so fucking starving that their bodies was eating themselves. How many of us during the apartheid regime in South Africa signed on to fight with the boycott, divest, and sanction movement to overthrow the apartheid regime? That was us. That was black college students, black high schoolers, Generation Xers saying, hell no, you will not treat our brothers and sisters in South Africa that way. We will see everything you try to touch turn to shit. How many of y'all bought the We Are the World album, who watched the video? That was us. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Right? That was us. Atlas. Black ass Atlas. We've been allied to everybody. We've been allied to everybody. They call us homophobes. Yet every time there's a march for LGBTQIA rights, we're out there and representing. They call us toxic masculinists. But every time there's a women's march or a run for the cure, we out there in numbers representing. They tell us that we're xenophobes. Yet every immigrant group ever to get a foothold in this country has its start in our community. We have aligned with everybody. I know it, producer. I know it. Because I want you to understand truly the reality of the circumstance. There has never been a push for change, for progression, for justice, for righteousness that the Black Atlas, the Black Jiminy fucking Cricket hasn't been behind. So who's on our team? Who's our real allies? Right? Who's our allies? Who is it in the United States of America that ADOS people can turn to and count on for full-throated, instantaneous advocacy of any agenda that we put forward? I want all of you Pan-Africanists who have been calling yourself banging on me, I want you to put the specific African group in the chat right fucking now that has issued full-throated, unabashed, unapologetic, willing to ride or die support for every aim or goal that ADOS people have pushed for. I think we have a winner, family. Nobody. Nobody. Our own elders Wise scholars like John Henrik Clark told us to our faces, you ADOS have no friends. None. None. 0. 9. Zilch. But everybody wants us to be Atlas for them. We got ADOS people going to the motherfucking UN and throwing their goddamn selves on their swords for the Palestinians. When's the last time you saw the Palestinians have full-throated, unabashed, full-bore support for anything that we trying to do over here as ADOS people? Where the fuck was Arafat? Over here advocating with Ronald Reagan, George W. Herbert Walker Bush, Bill Clinton. Where was Arafat saying, hey, we have allies in your country, so we're here to advocate on behalf of them? Where was he? It was black ADOS American students of all ages and stripes that were instrumental in bringing BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction to the fore in the fight to free South Africa from apartheid. Tell me, when did Nelson Mandela bring his ass over here and said, you fought for me when I could not fight for myself. Now I'm here to fight for you. Where's that speech? We got Google. We got Bing. Fuck, look it up on Yahoo if you like. Put the link to the speech in the chat. Africa is our motherland. So where the fuck is the African Union with foreign aid for us? Where's the African Union embassies all throughout the diaspora and here in America where we can go to when we can't pay the motherfucking light bill, when we ain't got no food in the refrigerator, when we just lost our goddamn job, and say, hey, we struggling. Can you help me? And 24-hour turnaround, we get a check cut with enough to meet our needs for the next couple of months. I'll wait. Tell me when that program was announced. Leo hit it on the barrelhead. There was one African leader, one, Muammar Gaddafi. He met with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and was perfectly willing to give aid and resources to the American descendants of slavery. You saw what happened to him, though. Africa let him get a bayonet shoved up his ass and executed. But they want to come to us talking about Pan-Africanism. Yeah. Shout out to our esteemed ancestor, Harriet Tubman. Brother Tony, welcome to the broadcast. May our queen rest in power. I freed thousands of slaves, and I would have freed 1,000 more had they only known they were slaves. That's a ride or die female right there. Harriet Tubman wasn't no joke. They killed Muammar. What was it that Hillary Clinton said? We came, we saw, he died. She made fun of the murder of the leader of the nation of Libya. I'm honored, Tony. Thank you for that. I look forward to hearing that beat when it's completed. So, family, this mythical black and brown coalition don't exist. It don't exist. It never has. Don't believe me? Just go on to Twitter and look up the official CBC, the Congressional Black Caucuses. You know, them dead ass folks in Congress that allegedly represent us. And look at who they support. Look at who they advocate for. And then go and look at the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And look who they issue full-throated advocacy for. And then you tell me who the fuck is our allies. Family, a lot of you said, and I agreed with you, that we are all we got. We have no allies. Yeah, except there's one little fucking problem. You even have people who share your lineage who's trying to work every fucking day to deny you your heritage, to deny you your birthright. I'm not talking about the bots, right? I'm not talking about the blacks on television, right? I'm not talking about Joy-Ann Reid. I'm not talking about motherfucking Roly-Poly. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about these so-called academic, scholarly black folk like Michael Eric Dyson. These motherfucking butter-licking, fluffy biscuit munching, buck dancing, Sambo ass Negroes who are so comfortable in their sinecures that they want to make sure that nothing, and I mean nothing, moves them, including your pain and suffering. Straightforward, finally made it. I told you you're not late. You right on time. Jim Clyburn, the longest sitting black congressman in the House, comes out and says, yeah, I don't think pure reparations is possible. Now, I have to make sure that I don't say anything that the haters can come back and have my channel shut down. So rather than saying what I really want to say that Jim Clyburn deserves, I will simply say that if you're in South Carolina and the next time the congressional elections come around and Jim Clyburn goes back to the motherfucking House of Representatives, that ain't on nobody but you. Right? David, pure reparation. First of all, what the fuck does he mean by pure reparations? Because right now, I'll take my reparations chopped and screwed, cut, stepped on. I don't give a fuck if you got to tamper with it to make it spread a little bit. I want you to take a motherfucking pure key of reparations and step on that shit and then give me my motherfucking dose. Since pure reparations seems to be a problem for you, since you think I might OD if you give me that pure, that uncut reparations, you dumb son of a bitch. See, family, y'all are infected with that goddamn disease I got. That disease that forces you to look at shit and try to make it make sense. What the fuck does pure reparations mean? I need my medicine, Jim Clyburn. I don't give a fuck if you give it to me in a pure dose or if you gotta cut it. I need my medicine. Run me my shit. Pure reparations, you son of a bitch. You are... Family, if you, as an ADOS person, do not ground yourself in the data, you don't have the emotional rocket fuel needed to do this advocacy. Because our brother, James Baldwin, says to exist as an ADOS person in America is to live in a constant state of rage. Everybody asks me, you're so intelligent. Why do you curse so much? And I say to them, why the fuck ain't you cussing? Why the fuck are you still acting like you all hoity-toity? That our long-standing debt, our long-standing oppression is just a motherfucking intellectual exercise to you. When you ground yourself in the data, you are armed with the fuel that you've been waiting for. You are armed. You are provided that rocket fuel, that outrage, that absolute and complete outrage. When you ground yourself in the data, there's a new voice that appears in your head. That voice is the voice of your ancestors of 400 motherfucking years of bloodshed, rapine, lies, theft, and murder, crying out for justice. Until you stop lying about your true status in this country, until you stop pretending that you're keeping up with the motherfucking Joneses. Oh, nigga, them 24s is clean. They spinning, nigga, they spinning. Until you stop pretending that you actually got more flex than you actually do. The vast majority of us don't have the capability to be able to just walk off of the plantation and start an entrepreneurial enterprise. What? So we could be like you out there struggling, scratching and scraping, undercapitalized, begging for what you want and borrowing for what you need? You poor, deluded, aspirational motherfucker. And most importantly, that we stop lying about who it is that is our allies, who it is that actually got our back. Until we stop telling these lies to ourselves, to our families, to the world at large, we're going to keep facing the bullshit we facing. If I indict you for nothing, and I do not indict you for anything, I do indict us for this. I indict us for continuing to push mythology over mathematics. I indict us for continuing to push narrative over reality. You've been living in a fantasy world, Neo. It's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to wake up. I, as your brother, and one who loves you am done lying to you. Not that I ever really was. Go back at my work. You know I've been consistent. But if I have ever had the temptation to tell you falsehood, I'm done. I'm not doing it. You are going to get the 100% unvarnished truth here, if nowhere else. And I know you get it in other places. David Johnson said ADOS, red-pilled black people. You think? I mean, if you want to gobble a handful of blue pills, all you have to do is just go join the NAACP. Now traded on the motherfucking stock exchange. The Congressional Black Carcasses got all the motherfucking blue pills a nigga could ever want. The motherfucking National Urban League believes all of you are goddamn bots anyway, according to Mark Morial's sorry ass. You like the taste of those blue pills? Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers got a bunch of them. They're handing them out like candy. All Kamala Harris got is blue pills and her motherfucking AK ass. Ski-wee. You want bullshit and lies? All you have to do is just go click on Roland Martin Unfettered. 06! You can sit here and overdose on blue pills and motherfucking Louisiana hot sauce. But if you want the reality of your circumstances and you want to align with your brothers and sisters who understand the reality of your circumstances, it's time to come fuck with the new black media. Them blue pills are sleeping pills, like Miss Kawami said. I couldn't have said it better. Hold on just a second, fam. Family, one of my favorite comedians, before I end this broadcast, said that the reason why it's called the American Dream is because you have to be asleep to believe it. Who, other than ADOS Atlas, have been the greatest proponents of the American Dream? Who have been the ones to uphold the American Dream? I'm with David. Nigga, I got insomnia. I ain't got time for sleeping no more. We have been the torch bearers for this motherfucking shining city on a hill. We have been the vision bearers for America. We have upheld the American dream where every other group has come here with nothing more than mercenary intent and a capability to bury the American dream. We're the only ones in this country that believe in true human rights for everybody on the planet. We're the only ones that don't screw up our face when you talk about socialism. Everybody else gets socialism, but they want to make sure you don't get it. They want socialism for them and hyper fucking capitalism and competition for your ass. We the only ones. But part of that upholding of this American dream has come at the expense of us never actually waking up to the reality of our circumstances within the confines of the United States of America. We've had different individuals using different means. We've had Pan-Africanists in the past who tried to tie us to something greater than ourselves. I don't hate Pan-Africanism. I don't hate Pan-African proponents. What I hate is the lack of tangible, real things that I can point at that Pan-African is done, Pan-African ideology is done for me and for my people. What I hate is that they look at my current push to get what's needed for me to be a member of my nation as bootlicking, as begging. They look upon me and mine with disdain. That's what I got a problem with. I don't hate immigrants. I wish the motherfuckers would stop coming here for a while, though, and give us a motherfucking chance to breathe. I wish they would stay the fuck out of this business transaction that we have to conduct with our nation. I wish they would keep our name out of their mouth. Most importantly, though, I wish more than anything that we rise up as this great, beautiful black tide and sweep away all of the motherfucking bootlicks, the gatekeepers, the buffers, all of these people who have profited from our pain, from our suffering, from our struggle, and have done nothing for us. I want us to sweep them all away. We don't need to hate them. We need to get rid of them. Exactly, black dollars. We will make these motherfucking dinosaurs go extinct one by one by one. Clyburn, your head's on the chopping block. If I was in South Carolina right now, I'd be looking for you. I'd be looking for you and anybody tied to you, looking to get your motherfucking ass the far the fuck away out of Congress as I possibly could. As a matter of fact, family, I would argue that next to us making sure that HR 40 gets what it needs, that we need to eliminate every single member of the motherfucking congressional black caucuses. I might make an exception for Sheila Jackson Lee because she was the one who put up HR 40 since they ran John Conyers out of office. She was the first one who sponsored the bill. Other than her, all the rest of the motherfuckers can, I was going to say die in a fire, but they can just retire with dignity. What little dignity they Sambo asses can have intact. Because all they've done is ensure a legacy of disgust. Let's stop telling lies. Y'all flatter me, man. I'm content with just being a voice for y'all. I'm content with being a voice for myself. I'm content with being a voice for my ancestors. We gotta cancel Cornell ass on that white liberal Becky bullshit he be on. He gots to go. And quiet as it's kept, I hope Tavis Smiley don't start tripping, because that nigga can go too. All of these motherfuckers who done had their moment in the sun, who done had a chance to be full-throated, unapologetically ADOS advocates that haven't been doing it, all of their asses is under the microscope. All of them. All of them. There ain't no goddamn sacred cows no more. I don't give a fuck how long you've been marching. I don't care how many times you got your head bashed in during the civil rights era. I don't give a fuck about none of that. What have you done for us lately? Because if you ain't got no bona fides to put up on the motherfucking table that is newer than 1968, you getting X'd. You getting X'd. I'm gonna keep speaking, brother. I'm gonna keep speaking. I'm gonna keep speaking. Nobody's gonna shut me up. The one thing that I, as an ADOS man, have left is the voice of my ancestors in my head and a big ass mouth to speak their words. To speak your words. But I need you, all of you, to commit to me and to yourselves that the lies in 2019 and moving forward stops. I don't want to hear this shit about how you're waiting to bubble while you're driving Uber. It's all right, brother, if you're driving Uber. You're not the only one. I don't want to hear this shit about how well you're doing with your good government job when you got a $400 a month car note because you got a 520 credit score and all of your credit cards are fucking maxed out. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. I don't want to hear how you bubbling because you out there playing prison games, selling drugs, running scams. We are not doing well. And we need to know that so that we can gain the rocket fuel, the outrage that our brother James Baldwin told us is part of our birthright. Until we give birth to justice, we have to give birth to rage. Understand me. Until we give birth to justice, we have to give birth to rage. If you don't understand the data, if you don't know enough to be a part of this conversation, do yourself a favor. Shut the fuck up and learn. And if you have learned the truth of the matters, if you stay grounded in the data, then your outrage will tell you, along with the voice of your ancestors, everything you need to know about what our next steps are. We don't need to be fielding a bunch of questions about, well, what's the game plan, Brother Black? Your ancestors already told you the game plan. It's time for these motherfuckers to cut the checks. It's been long past time. They could have got off easy with 40 acres and a mule. They've got nearly 150 years or better now of compound interest, of punitive damages. They could have got off light with 40 acres and a mule. Instead, they compounded the injustice with convict leasing, with debt peonage, with motherfucking Jim Crow, with Plessy v. Ferguson, with lynchings, with murders, with rapes, with lies. The body of our brother Emmett Till in the ground while this bitch lives and she knows she lied. That's not fucking ancient history. That was yesterday. Henrietta Lacks's cells making cures for every fucking body. That wasn't ancient history. That was yesterday. With redlining. With the motherfucking crack epidemic that the government pushed that shit into our communities. Shout out to Gary Webb. May he rest in power. With mass incarceration, the only other method by which it's legal to make slaves in the United States. Slavery ain't dead. You niggas are crying and just want payment for slavery. Well, none of you were a slave. Bullshit. Until we get justice, we all are slaves. We're still the chained black atlas, required to service a nation that won't even do fucking right by us. Required to volunteer our bodies and our blood to go fight for a nation who keeps us on the bottom when we get back home. Required. Tell me this, family. Tell me this, you aspirational ass Negroes. Truly, other than the fact that you're not operating on a plantation, what is truly the difference between the enslavement you're under now and the enslavement that our ancestors had to go through? You're just enslaved with Android and iPhone. You're enslaved with emails and punching clocks. You don't have the option to say no. If you can't say no, if you cannot say no, then you are not free. If you cannot tell this country, I don't want to work, I'm good, and be able to still fucking survive, you ain't free. If you can't tell your children, hey, I know that you should get a good education. I know that you should be well-rounded and learned and all that other stuff. But don't you worry. Mommy and daddy got this. We're going to make sure you're going to be all right. If you can't tell your children that, then you are not free. Your ancestors were emancipated from the plantations. But you're not emancipated from the call center. You're not emancipated from the motherfucking factory. You're not emancipated from the warehouse. You're not emancipated from the motherfucking restaurant. You don't have the option as the descendant of the people that built this country to say, yeah, instead of rolling out, I'm rolling over this morning. You don't have that option, so you are not free. Our push to have what is due us returned to us is to finally give us the birthright that belongs to every American. And that is the freedom to choose the life in which we want to live. Truly, what it means to be an American is to not have your life dictated to you. That with all things being equal, whatever path that you choose to walk from the cradle to the grave is yours to choose. We need parity with the rest of the nation so that we can finally enjoy the fullest expression of our birthright as citizens. Nothing more, nothing less. We continue to lie to each other and to shame each other and to disrespect each other because of circumstances that were put into place long before we got here, that we have not forced this country to address. Those days are over. Those days are over. Do you hear it yet? Family, do you hear it yet? Do you hear the drum beat? the voice of your ancestors? Do you hear them? Do you hear them? I do. The grounding in the data, the reality of my and your existence here in this country. Flick the light switch so that I could finally hear the voice of my ancestors. David said, give us our reparations, and the American empire may it last for 1,000 years. Facts. I don't give a fuck what these Pan-Africans say. My ancestors' bones is here. This is my homeland. The day the African Union comes over here with a passport with Mark Black stamped on it and a plot of land and a capital package to get me started in the country in Africa of my choosing, until that day comes, fuck what anybody else is talking about America. America, right or wrong, America's mine. But they need to cut the check. America we're done bullshitting with you. We're done fucking playing for you. We're done playing Atlas for you. I don't give a fuck about the whales. I don't give a fuck about the blue-breasted, red-eyed swamp booby. I don't give a fuck about motherfucking nuclear fallout. I don't give a fuck about climate change. I don't give a fuck about none of that. It's time to address me and mine. Put that debt to bed. And then let us do what the fuck we're gonna do. Let us enjoy, for the first time, the fullest expression of American citizenship, which is the right to dictate your life on your terms. Reparation isn't a handout. It's not another motherfucking government program. See, I'm gonna tell you something. And I talked about this in my last broadcast, and I'm gonna finish this up, family. I know y'all want to go enjoy your Saturdays, and I thank you and I love you for the support, for the donations. Thank you, brother BGS, for your tip. I appreciate it. Miss Denny, my top donator. Sister, I love you more than words can express. Shout out to Rise and Shine, my latest sub. Right? I thank you and love you for your support. America needs to get this done. We need parity. If you want to get your check and then decide to leave, go for it. But we don't need no more government motherfucking programs that can change with the signature of the next legislature and the next president. We don't need no more motherfucking handouts. We need our money. You cannot truly pay us for what was stolen from us. But the process of negotiation requires that they come up with some number. You cannot pay for my ancestor who was lynched. You cannot pay for my ancestor who died on the battlefields over in France in World War I, who died in Iwo Jima in World War II, or who died in Korea or Vietnam, or who died in the Persian Gulf. You can't pay for that. Who died as contraband in the contraband camps during the Civil War, who died as a part of the Massachusetts 54th and other colored regiments. You can never pay us for that. You can't pay us for the ancestors who died during the Revolutionary War. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for the trauma of the whipping machine. I understand that. So it doesn't matter. Come up with a number. Figure out what the share is. Figure out how we're going to determine qualifications. Dr. Darity has done some great work in that area. I'm certain there's more ideas to come about who it is that is actually the American descendants of slavery. And then cut us our checks and let us be Americans. In this way, if your brother, yes, sure enough, shout out to Mary Turner. Shout out to those brothers in Houston who were soldiers who defended black Houston residents against a racial onslaught of the white folks and ended up being hanged after a court-martial. May they rest in power. Come up with the number. Give us our due. And then whatever else happens, happens. Then we can finally start to be Americans. I want to thank you all, family, again for your love and support. One last time before we go, here's the link to my merch store. As you guys know, I have this ADOS cup with the Angry Black Sheep logo, but I have another one that I'm going to be showing off to you here that's on the way that actually has the ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery logo on it. It's unofficial merch, okay? I'm not claiming that this merch represents Yvette and Tone's work. Whenever they have official merch, I'm going to buy it and support their effort and their works. This merchandise just supports my channel. I also have a shirt with the ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery logo on it too as well, in like 4 different colors. Again, those things support my channel. And if you appreciate the word that I offer, if you got something from what I said today, my sister Shar put up links where you can tip your brother. It's all appreciated. Family, to live as ADOS people in America is to live in a constant state of rage. But it is a fire that swells up within you, that opens up your connection to the great stream of ancestors that came before you. Do not let them take your rage from you, because it is our rage that will help us to give birth to justice. So family, until the next Sucka-Free Saturday or the next time I see you, be ready for Morning Joe come Monday morning. Until the next time, I wish you always love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.
People complain about young black male unemployment, so then that leads people in to incarcerate them. You end up with black men being warehoused because black people pose the greatest genetic threat.
and the